Adele is dishing on her new album and her dramatic weight loss. Adele appears on both the U.S. and British Vogue covers. She confirmed that her highly anticipated upcoming album will address her divorce and how it impacted her 8-year-old son. Adele said she felt, quote, bleeping disappointed that women were having the most brutal conversations about her 100-pound weight loss. Some said she looked too skinny. Some were disappointed that she felt the pressure to lose weight. Adele said she started working out to combat anxiety and said you don't have to be overweight to be body positive. You can be any shape or size. Erica, you've always talked about when you did your fitness competitions, because Adele is saying that it was women that really attacked her. When you got into your fitness competition weight, did you see any weird behaviors towards your body changing or no?
That was
Erica, please, I always feel like you gloss over this. Explain how the drastic weight cut, like you are ripped in these pictures. I think people think this is a serious competition. People need to know that. Yeah,
at the time, I would have to lose about 40 pounds to compete. So it was and it would be over the course of like 3 to 6 months. Wow. So that was a drastic change. And I mean, a lot of people had a lot to say about it, but they also didn't understand what was happening in my life at that time. And this was my way of taking control of the things, of something, when I had no control over anything. So I think it is most hurtful when you do feel like you have this community or following, and the very people that you relate to and they relate to you are the ones who are the hardest on you. But I think that that's a very teachable moment in anyone's life, to know that regardless of what the circumstances are, you have to stay true to you. And that means that you have to follow the way that it feels, not the way that it looks to everyone else.
Do men experience this?
I was going to say, why don't you have to explain that if you show up on TV and you have an 8-pack because you worked out all summer? Like, we wouldn't have to answer those questions. So I don't understand why it's okay for people to even ask.
Well, you feel the pressure.
Well, I've put the pressure on myself. I don't feel it from the outside. But for anybody, okay, it's very difficult for me to talk about trans issues, Black Lives Matter issues, weight issues, because people just like, oh, that's because you're privileged and you're this, and they just take that and jam it back up. You know what I mean? When I talk about weight loss and mental health, for me, I do that because it works for me. I'm not shaming anyone's body. I get rid of my energy in the morning. I work out and then I listen to positive things because I need positive reinforcement. Otherwise, I become an angry person. That's me. I'm doing it for your mental health, not to shame anybody. But then it comes back to me that, oh, you look like this because of this, this, and that, and now you're shaming me because of my body. I'm trying to help you. You know what I mean? And if we are not allowed to have conversations about trans issues, about Black Lives Matter, about weight, without being labeled and stereotyping me, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to solve any of these issues that we have on the table, and we need to start talking about it. Even if it's uncomfortable, you're not putting someone down. You're trying to explain
And that's my
something.
fear. If we don't use the language that is appropriate for this specific person, and then this specific, they turn their back to it. But the messages that have been coming out for years, where people have tried to say, hey, NWA in 1989 had a song about the police that had a bad word in the title, and so people turned away from it. Are we still having a problem with the police now, 30-some years later? Maybe if we stopped pretending like the words are what's scaring us and maybe the subject matter, maybe we would get somewhere. But instead, we'll quibble about, can I say this, and now should I refer to you as this? Everybody should have dignity when they're spoken to, but we do need to have difficult conversations, and sometimes you are going to stumble. Just like if you tell somebody you love them for the first time, it might not come out like a movie script, but you're trying to say something really emotional.
Yeah, that's really well said. I wish we could get to that. I don't know if we ever are. I really don't. With social media these days, I don't know.
I mean, everyone's losing if we're not saying what we're feeling, and they're thinking it at home, and we're thinking it upstairs, but we're scared to say it. Everybody's losing. Well, nobody's winning.
You can't profit from people having nuanced conversation.
Yeah.
You can profit from people being canceled.
Well, we try
That's
to
how you get eyeballs on your site.
We definitely try to always go there and have nuanced conversation.